Have you noticed how your fingers don't obey you anymore? How something as small as making a fist feels like forcing rusty hinges to move, and deep down you wonder if this is the moment your independence starts slipping away. What if the pain in your hands isn't just old age like you've been told, but a warning sign your body is sending before things get worse, before buttons become impossible, jars stay sealed, and asking for help becomes your new normal? Before you keep watching, do this with me right now. Try to slowly make a fist with your most painful hand and pay attention, not just to the pain, but to the fear that comes with it, because what I'm about to show you targets exactly what's stealing that movement from you. When I first heard this, I dismissed it too. I'm trained to be skeptical, and honestly, anything that sounds natural usually sets off alarm bells. But what stopped me cold was this. The mechanism behind finger arthritis pain isn't mysterious, and it isn't irreversible damage like most people assume. It's an inflammatory loop, one that modern medicine often manages with painkillers but rarely interrupts at the source. And once you understand that loop, something very simple suddenly, most people don't wake up one day unable to use their hands. It creeps in quietly. First, it's stiffness in the morning. Then opening jars becomes a struggle. Then buttons, pens, phone screens. Eventually, people stop doing things they love, not because they want to, but because the pain decides for them. That slow loss of control is what makes hand arthritis so dangerous, and it's exactly why waiting until it's severe is a mistake. Here's the part almost no one explains clearly. Arthritis pain in the fingers isn't just about worn cartilage. The real driver is chronic inflammation trapped inside small joints with poor circulation. That inflammation keeps nerves irritated, restricts movement, and prevents healing signals from reaching the area. If you only treat pain, the inflammation keeps burning underneath, and that's why relief never lasts. Long before anti-inflammatory drugs existed, physicians used a resin extracted from frankincense trees to treat joint pain and swelling. That sounds ancient, and that's exactly why it gets ignored today. But modern research has identified the exact compounds inside frankincense that interfere with inflammatory signaling. This isn't folklore, it's chemistry, and it works for a very specific reason. Frankincense contains compounds called boswellic acids. Think of them like a breaker switch for inflammation. Instead of numbing pain, they reduce the inflammatory messengers that keep joints swollen and sensitive. Less inflammation means less pressure inside the joint, better nerve signaling, and more room for movement. That's the difference between temporary relief and functional improvement. Finger joints are small, shallow, and close to the surface. That makes them uniquely responsive to topical anti-inflammatory compounds when applied correctly. Unlike knees or hips, the barrier is thin. When inflammation is reduced locally, circulation improves, stiffness eases, and movement becomes smoother. This is why people often notice changes in their hands faster than anywhere else. This is where people fail. They dab a drop, rub randomly, and quit when nothing dramatic happens. That doesn't work. Frankincense oil must be diluted properly, applied consistently, and work into the joint with intention. Random use gives random results. Strategic use creates predictable outcomes, and that distinction matters more than the product itself. The best time to apply it is when joints are warm, after washing hands with warm water, or after light movement. Massage slowly into each finger joint, not aggressively, for about 1 minute per hand. This isn't about force, it's about signaling. Done once or twice daily, this creates an environment where inflammation can actually calm down instead of resetting every morning. This isn't an overnight miracle, and anyone promising that is lying. Most people notice reduced morning stiffness within 5 to 7 days. Pain during movement often improves next. Grip strength comes later. The goal isn't perfection, it's control. Less fear, more confidence using your hands without bracing for pain. And once that control starts returning, the trajectory changes. Let's be clear so nobody misunderstands this. Frankincense oil does not regrow cartilage. It does not reverse bone-on-bone arthritis, and it will not erase decades of joint damage. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're selling you hope, not help. What it can do is reduce the daily inflammation that keeps your fingers stiff, swollen, and unusable. And for most seniors, that reduction alone is the difference between needing help and staying independent. The most dangerous thing about finger arthritis isn't pain, it's adaptation. People slowly stop using their hands because it hurts, and unused joints deteriorate faster. That's how independence disappears quietly. When pain drops even slightly, movement returns. When movement returns, circulation improves. improves. When circulation improves, decline slows. That chain reaction only starts when you take control instead of waiting for another prescription that manages symptoms but never solves the problem. If your fingers are already stiff, swollen, or aching daily, waiting won't protect you. It accelerates the loss. Try this consistently for 2 weeks. Not once, not when you remember. 2 weeks, morning and night. Pay attention to stiffness, grip, and confidence using your hands. And in the next video, I'll break down another overlooked science-backed tool, one that most people already have sitting in their kitchen but are using completely wrong. If your fingers are already stiff in the morning, that's not random aging. It's inflammation locking your joints overnight. Ignore it long enough and stiffness turns into permanent loss of motion. That's how people wake up one day unable to button a shirt or hold a cup without pain. This is the window where intervention still works. Every senior I've worked with says the same thing. I didn't think it would get this bad. They don't miss running marathons. They miss holding hands, writing their name, fastening jewelry. Finger arthritis doesn't take your life. It takes your dignity quietly, one small task at a time. After 15 years of treating seniors, I can tell you this plainly. Pain medications don't restore function. They numb symptoms while joints continue breaking down underneath. Relief without strategy is how decline accelerates unnoticed. Most people think arthritis pain comes only from worn cartilage. That's incomplete and misleading. The real enemy is constant inflammation flooding tiny finger joints every day. Cartilage damage starts the problem. Chronic inflammation keeps it alive. Think of your knuckles like a fire alarm that never shuts off. Even when you're resting, inflammatory chemicals keep ringing the bell. Frankincense doesn't silence the alarm forever, but it lowers the volume enough for your hands to function again. Frankincense wasn't respected for thousands of years because it smelled nice. Cultures used it because it worked. Long before inflammation had a name, modern science is just catching up to what ancient medicine already understood. The key compounds in frankincense, boswellic acids, block a specific inflammatory pathway your body relies on to create pain signals. Fewer inflammatory chemicals mean less swelling, less stiffness, and more usable movement. Simple mechanism, real impact. If you're thinking an oil can't reach joint pain, that's reasonable skepticism. But certain compounds are small enough to penetrate tissue and affect the inflammatory process locally. This isn't magic, it's chemistry applied correctly. And here's the part most people miss. Inflammation control isn't enough on its own. How you apply it, timing, pressure, consistency, determines whether you get mild relief or real functional change. That's where most seniors fail without realizing it. Most people who try natural remedies fail because they eyeball everything. Arthritis doesn't respond to vibes, it responds to dose and consistency. Too weak and nothing happens. Too strong and skin irritation kills the routine. Precision is the difference between relief and quitting. If the bottle doesn't say 100% pure frankincense essential oil, you're wasting your time. Pre-diluted blends, fragrance oils, or mystery mixes don't contain enough active compounds to affect inflammation. Cheap oils buy false hope, not relief. Pure doesn't mean reckless. Frankincense is potent, which is why dilution matters. Seniors often damage their skin trying to go stronger. That mistake turns a helpful remedy into a reason to stop altogether. The effective range is narrow. 1 tablespoon of carrier oil with 3 to 4 drops of frankincense. This creates the concentration needed to influence inflammation without irritating aging skin. Anything outside this range reduces results or increases risk. Carrier oils aren't fillers, they're delivery systems. Coconut oil absorbs quickly and adds its own anti-inflammatory support. Jojoba oil mimics skin oil and penetrates evenly. Almond oil nourishes fragile skin. Pick wrong and absorption slows. Pick right and results accelerate. Rubbing oil on and walking away does almost nothing. Inflammation sits deep in the joint capsule. If you're not applying pressure, you're treating skin, not arthritis. Firm circular massage over each knuckle forces blood flow into areas that have been stagnant for years. That circulation is what carries anti-inflammatory compounds into the joint tissue and carries waste out. This step determines success. 30 seconds per finger isn't optional. It's the minimum. Arthritis developed over decades. Expecting results from a 5-second rub is self-sabotage disguised as impatience. But even perfect application can fail if you stop at the wrong moment. What you do immediately after matters more than most people realize, and it explains why some feel relief in minutes, while others feel nothing. Right after applying the oil, your joints are most receptive, blood flow is elevated, tissues are warm, and inflammation is temporarily suppressed. This short window is where most people either amplify results or waste them. You don't need heavy exercise. In fact, forcing strength work here backfires. Gentle movement is the trigger, not intensity. Arthritis punishes aggression and rewards precision. Slowly opening and closing your hand, touching each fingertip to your thumb, and making a soft fist tells the nervous system these joints are safe to move. Pain isn't just physical, it's protective signaling. When movement follows reduced inflammation, the brain updates its threat map. Pain signals drop, not because damage vanished, but because danger perception decreased. This is why relief can feel sudden. Some seniors feel improvement in minutes, not days. That's not placebo. It's circulation and nerve signaling shifting in real time. Inflammation doesn't always need weeks to calm down. The real indicator isn't pain elimination, it's change. Less throbbing, easier bending, slightly smoother motion. If something feels different, the pathway is open. The next morning tells the truth. If hands feel less locked, less swollen, or loosen faster, inflammation has dropped overnight. This is the signal to continue, not quit early. Many seniors stop when pain returns slightly. That's a mistake. Arthritis inflammation cycles. Interrupting the routine resets progress back to zero. Morning application fights stiffness. Evening application repairs overnight. Tie it to brushing teeth or washing hands. No memory required, just association. But early relief isn't the real victory. The real change happens across weeks when baseline pain drops and function quietly returns without you noticing, until one day you just do things again. Seniors don't notice progress immediately because improvement feels boring. The first real win is forgetting about your hands for hours. Pain only screams when it's losing control. Opening jars, buttoning shirts, holding utensils longer. These aren't small victories. They're neurological proof that joints are tolerating load again. Arthritis steals slowly, so recovery feels subtle. But every task done without help rebuilds confidence, which further reduces pain perception. Your joints remember inflammation. Repeated calm signals retrain immune behavior locally. This is why consistency beats intensity every time. This is where most people either lock in results or lose them. Skip days here and inflammation rebounds. Stay consistent and the body adapts. Cold-triggered pain easing is a major indicator. That means circulation and tissue response are improving, not just masking symptoms. Look at knuckles in the mirror. Reduced redness and puffiness equals inflammatory chemicals decreasing. Visual feedback reinforces adherence. Feeling better tempts people to overuse their hands. Temporary flare-ups don't mean failure. They mean boundaries still matter. A bad day doesn't erase progress. Arthritis pain fluctuates even when tissue health improves. Quit interpreting discomfort as regression. When pain no longer dominates decision-making, seniors stop planning life around limitations. This shift is as powerful as physical relief. Hands move more often without conscious effort. More movement equals better lubrication, less stiffness. This loop feeds itself. Less night pain improves sleep. Better sleep lowers systemic inflammation. This is an indirect but critical benefit most people miss. Many seniors notice they reach for pain pills less often, not because they decided to, but because urgency disappears. Progress slows, not stops. This phase scares people into quitting, but plateaus mean stabilization, not failure. This isn't a short-term fix. Arthritis is chronic. Management beats chasing cures. Long-term relief comes from routines, not miracles. It won't rebuild destroyed cartilage. Anyone claiming that is lying. Pain reduction comes from inflammation control, not regeneration fantasies. There's no patent, no prescription, no financial incentive. Absence of promotion doesn't equal absence of evidence. The biggest shift isn't physical, it's autonomy. Relief without appointments, approvals, or side effects changes how seniors see aging. People stop identifying as arthritis sufferers and start seeing themselves as capable again. Identity influences behavior more than pain levels. But inflammation control alone isn't the full equation. What you eat, how you hydrate, and how you sleep decide whether these gains last or fade. Pain returning doesn't mean the method stopped working. It usually means inflammation inputs what's quietly crept back in through food, dehydration, or inactivity. Every meal, every night of poor sleep, every skipped movement session votes either for calm joints or angry ones. Arthritis listens to patterns, not intentions. Even modest sugar intake spikes inflammatory markers in seniors longer than in younger adults. One dessert can undo a full day of joint calm. Low hydration thickens synovial fluid. Stiff joints in the morning are often dehydration problems masquerading as aging. Overnight immobility plus inflammation pooling equals stiffness. This is why consistent evening routines matter more than most realize. Gentle hand movement within 30 minutes of waking reduces stiffness far more than stretching later in the day. Avoiding hand use out of fear accelerates stiffness and weakness. Safe movement protects joints. It doesn't destroy them. Pain, fear, less movement, more stiffness, more pain. Breaking this loop is psychological as much as physical. Not better genetics, better consistency. The body rewards repetition, not enthusiasm. Supplements alone don't fix arthritis. Signals do. Anti-inflammatory input plus circulation plus movement. Oil works because it hits all three. Age slows healing. It doesn't cancel it. Believing otherwise increases stress hormones that worsen inflammation. Chronic stress raises cortisol, which degrades connective tissue over time. Calm minds protect joints. One-time treatments don't retrain inflammatory pathways. Arthritis responds to routines, not rescue attempts. A flare feels alarming, but often reflects chemistry, not structural harm. Panic increases pain intensity. Pressure changes alter joint fluid dynamics. Reduced inflammation improves weather tolerance, not immunity, but resilience. Stronger oils or higher doses don't outperform steady daily use. More isn't smarter, regular is. Most quit right before results stabilize. 2 weeks is the minimum for nervous system recalibration. Medical systems manage disease, not daily function. Joint comfort lives in the gaps between appointments. Pain relief matters, but independence determines quality of life. Every method should be judged by that metric. Now comes the uncomfortable truth. Even the best joint strategies fail if one critical habit is missing, and most seniors overlook it completely. Joint pain doesn't respond to intensity, it responds to rituals. The body heals what you show up for daily. Inconsistent care confuses inflammatory pathways. The body needs predictable signals to downshift pain responses. Missing a day doesn't erase progress, but repeated skips teach the body pain is the default state again. Your nervous system remembers pain patterns. Calm inputs must outnumber pain memories to overwrite them. Inflammation repairs or worsens during sleep. What you do before bed echoes into morning stiffness. Applying joint care at night reduces morning pain more than morning-only routines. Repair happens off-stage. Relief feels good. Control changes lives. This method gives control back, not just temporary comfort. The moment a senior buttons a shirt alone again, compliance skyrockets. Success breeds consistency. The brain equates complexity with effectiveness. Biology doesn't. Simple signals often work best. But here's the problem no one talks about. Many people sabotage these results without realizing it, usually within the first hour of their day. Many seniors wake up and immediately reach for painkillers or skip gentle exercises. That habit silently feeds inflammation. The first 30 minutes after waking set your joint tone for the day. Small, deliberate movement signals pain is not welcome here. Skipping warm-up or rushing through daily tasks keeps joints stiff. The body treats rushed actions as damage signals. Even 2 minutes of targeted massage and movement can send powerful anti-inflammatory signals to stubborn joints. Many seniors think stiffness equals damage. In reality, early stiffness often responds fastest to movement plus topical intervention. Temporary relief can trick you into stopping. Pain may return if the routine isn't maintained consistently. Consistent small actions compound like interest in a bank account. Miss a few days and gain slow, but don't disappear completely. Stress amplifies inflammation. Calm, mindful attention during massage or exercises amplifies the benefits tenfold. Journaling even minor improvements, reduced swelling, smoother bends, reinforces behavior and belief in the method. Here's the reality most seniors ignore. Every day you wait without consistent action, the inflammatory fire quietly worsens. Your hands lose more more function, and the simple joys of independence slip further away. You might have the very thing making your pain worse sitting in your pantry. Sugar, processed foods, or certain oils silently fueling inflammation. Doctors often focus on cartilage loss, but inflammation is the real daily villain. You can't ignore it if you want functional fingers. Your joints aren't broken, they're inflamed. Think of it as a hidden fire burning slowly but relentlessly, wearing you down. Ibuprofen or creams are like putting a wet blanket on flames. They stop the smoke, but the embers keep burning underneath. Frankincense doesn't just cover up pain, it actively lowers the inflammation signals, targeting the fire at its source. Boswellia acids penetrate tissues and block 5-lipoxygenase enzymes, the chemical signal that tells your joints to inflame. Remember how hard it is to make a fist in the morning? That daily frustration doesn't have to be permanent. Frankincense massage also increases blood flow, flushing inflammatory waste and nourishing the remaining cartilage in your joints. Even small reductions in stiffness compound. Slightly easier mornings lead to more movement, less pain, and improved independence. Picture yourself buttoning your shirt, holding your grandchild's hand, or opening jars without wincing. Your daily routine doesn't have to be painful. You don't need hours of therapy. Just 2 minutes morning and night with the right oil can calm the fire in your joints. Skipping even a day slows results. Daily, deliberate care is what lets your hands regain flexibility and strength. Try making a fist when you wake up tomorrow. Notice the difference in stiffness. Even small improvements show your joints are healing. Think about the last jar you struggled with. Imagine picking it up, twisting it, and opening it effortlessly again. Many bottles say frankincense but are diluted or blended. Only 100% therapeutic grade oil works to reduce inflammation. Mix with coconut, jojoba, or sweet almond oil. The carrier oil helps penetrate the joint and enhances absorption. Circular motions from base to tip of each finger, 30 to 60 seconds per joint. This is what actually gets the boswellia acids into the tissue. After massage, open and close your hands slowly. Touch each fingertip to your thumb. These exercises boost circulation and mobility. You might notice less throbbing that first night. Your body's inflammatory signals are finally dialing down. Picture typing, knitting, buttoning, and cooking without wincing. Imagine the freedom of moving your hands without that daily frustration.